right foot shot, and that is arrowed underneath the crossbar. That's a stupendous goal.
Hello and welcome to the program. I am Ken Ochonogo. It is Sports Palava time, and I tell you, the politics have been heated. Let's hope the studio will be a bit calmer. On Sunday, there was a doubleheader for Nigeria. The Super Falcons of Nigeria were far away in Bata, in Equatorial Guinea, playing for the second leg of the Olympic Games qualifiers. And in Congo, the under-23, our dream team, were there also, playing also for the return leg of the African Championship en route to also the 2016 Rio Olympics. They had played the first leg in Nigeria. The dream team won 2-1, but the Falcons drew 1-1. So it was walking on a tightrope. And Nigerians prayed and hoped for a positive result from both venues of the championship. Then, after the matches, the dream team qualified. No doubt about that. They held on to 0-0, betting Bata. It was 1-1 at full time, and it went on to into extra time. And at extra time, the Equatorial Guinea girls, the only team that has stopped the Falcons from winning the Women's Championship in Africa, also sent them out, which means we crashed out just the way Ghana sent us out, 4 years earlier. But that is not the story. Film them pictures, if you as that was going on. There were visuals of the president of the Nigerian Football Federation, Mr. Amaju Pinnick, at Wembley. It was a charity shield match, the community shield match, between Arsenal, Football Club of England, of London, and also the London neighbours Chelsea. It is well known that Amaju Pinnick is a fan of Arsenal. And then he was found there, he was seen there watching the match, together with the new coach of the Super Eagles, Mr. Sunday Ogochukwu. And that is the crux of the matter. They were caused by some Nigerians to say he's been there in London while the two national teams were there, playing very crucial matches. Kind of left a sour taste in their mouth. In fact, they are saying, Mr. Amaju Pinnick, throw in the towel. It's time for you to resign. But another school of thought says, the man says, I went there to meet with sponsors. I went there to meet with those who indicated their interests to sponsor Nigerian football, to put their money, their investment in our football for us to develop. And that they asked for a meeting with myself and the chief coach because they want to know his developmental programs. And that is why we went. So even if I'm an Arsenal fan, even if you found me watching an Arsenal match on that particular day, it was not because I went there on a personal note. I went there on an official duty. Nigerian football calls, and that is why I was there. That is the story. We shall come to you later, but I started by gladiators in the house. I want to start with the man who says, there is nothing wrong with this. Harrison Princeman. Good afternoon, Harrison.
Good afternoon, Ken. It's a pleasure being on Sports Palava. Good afternoon, viewers. You see, the issue on ground is no issue. I don't think Amaju Pinnick has committed any crime for people to call for his resignation. First and foremost, I have two questions I would ask as we go along. But first and foremost, this man has clarified the issue that it was sheer coincidence. One, he was in London for a meeting, and that same meeting culminated into when Arsenal and Chelsea were having the Community Shield game. That's the opener of the EPL. Now, that he's an Arsenal fan doesn't mean he shouldn't also have part of his life, his own private life. He also said something that was quite touchy, that there were sponsors who were interested in Nigerian football. And Ken, you and I know right from time that we have issues when it comes to finances, we have issues of restructuring our football, and if there are people who have suddenly shown interest in our football, do you want him to now relegate that particular activity or avenue and say, I go to Bata or I go to Congo, when he can delegate, and which he did delegate, people to go to Congo and Bata? As a leader, you can't be everywhere. There are people you've cumulated as being responsible, as being active, who could deliver. You trust them, and I think that's what Pinnick has done.
Well, there are people, okay, Humphrey Njoku, there are people, according to him, who are competent enough to do the job. And if we have sponsors who are interested in putting their money in Nigerian football, should the NFF president neglect that meeting and be both at Bata and Congo at the same time?
Well, let me say once again, it's a big pleasure being here once again. He mentioned coincidence, and you begin to ask, what is sheer coincidence? And those coincidences, what is hitting up the public. We used to say in those days, a witch cried in the night and a child died in the morning. Do you need a soothsayer to tell you that it was the witch that cried in the night that killed the child? When you look at it, you begin to wonder. He mentioned delegation, which is the big thing about democracy. But I begin to ask, to the best of my knowledge, even before we walk into this studio, Amaju Pinnick is the NFF president and not the director of marketing. So if we are talking about marketing, there is a personnel whose job is to be in that. He wasn't even in that entourage. And you asked about personal life. You see, Amaju Pinnick needs to be told here and there that he is no more Amaju Pinnick, whom he is a year past. He is now an image of Nigerian Football Federation. So whatever he does and however he does it has to come into play. The sheer coincidence cannot be overlooked. Amaju Pinnick is morally culpable. Let us wait. Maybe when we open the status book, we begin to look at the legal aspect of it. Morally, he should be quitting his position, because what is a leader? You practically abandon their responsibility. We have key matches, and those key matches, probably his presence in Bata could have changed the scenario, given the information that is filtering in from there. And I think time has come for people to be much responsible and much matured in what they do. Because you can't just go about, and you look at even his appearance. You are going for a place where you said you want to cut sponsors, and you're already biased, identifying yourself with one of the jerseys of an opponent. Are we saying that the opponents here, or the so-called sponsors, are all Arsenal fans?
No, I think I need to come in here now. I need to come in here. Humphrey, let me be very specific. You see, when it comes to the issue of business, expertise comes to play, and most organization wants to see the head and talk to you. Don't forget that he also said something that Sunday Lise was with him in that particular delegation. Is Sunday Lise an Arsenal fan? No. Now, if you look at
have you been privileged to visit Lise's website? I have. What he said specifically there, that they went there to watch that game and to allow him talk to the players. That was Olise, and he was
that was his own view. But don't forget again.
Where is the marketing director in that entourage? Or you say that he has no business being there?
In some of the cases, the CEO chooses who goes with him in certain meetings.
You don't choose it with discretion.
Let me start with you there.
Okay.
You are going to meet with sponsors.
Yeah.
You have the marketing department, marketing sponsorship department, who are supposed to be expert, because the NFL chairman is not the expert in a particular regard. The president. I mean, it should not be better for him to have somebody who is there to now, or he's going to tell them back that we have met with sponsors. Well, I mean, does he understand the technicalities of marketing sponsorship?
I don't know where Humphrey got his information from that the marketing director was not there, because the list of those...
He's not there.
No, hold on.
He's not there.
If you can prove it, if you can prove it, then we'll all go out and say he wasn't there, because what Amaju Pinnick has said is that he was there for two personal reasons. One, meetings with sponsors, and two, there were cumulative meetings that will get into the FIFA Congress preceding the election.
And on a Sunday, do you do business in Europe on Sunday?
If he was there on Friday, does he have to fly back to Nigeria and then go back on Sunday?
It's possible.
No, it's not possible. That is waste of fund. That is waste of fund.
Are you following?
That is waste of fund.
Look, he has told us.
Let's get this issue straight.
All these excuses flies in the air.
These are not excuses. Let's get it straight. This is a man who has looked at Nigerian football theory and know that there are three fundamental problems. One, we lack technicality. Two, we lack fun, which is the biggest empathy about our game. And three,
we don't lack fun.
We do.
What we lack is bad administration.
Let me tell you,
there are a lot of countries who are sustaining their administration based on what they get from FIFA. And if we have to put ourselves,
also have sponsors.
If you market NFF very well internally, we should be able to generate enough funds.
That is what this young man is doing.
So he doesn't need to go that far.
Come and put their hard-earned money.
He doesn't need to go that far.
Humphrey, I want to ask you this. He said, I want to quote him here. He said, the truth is, I actually wanted to travel with the Falcons. It is not for the meeting in the UK. If not for the meeting in the UK, I had developed a special bond with the team from the FIFA Women's World Cup in Canada. The NFF is proud of the team's glorious achievements over the years. He said he would have been with the Falcons. But, but for this particular meeting, he would have been in Bata.
The Amaju Pinnick you and I know, would he have traveled on the road to Cotonou back on that trip with Super Falcons? And where is this affinity? This is the same person.
He's asking you.
No, I'm throwing it over.
Okay, so
that's to show you the passion.
He said the NFF president said, I love Falcons so much.
Yes.
How come they have to put them on the road to travel from Cotonou back? After the match in Bata.
That's a question I can't really answer, but I want to also say this.
No, where is the love?
Hold on.
You can hold on.
We have two games over the weekend. One in Congo,
is more
one in Bata.
One is more keen. I could have told you outrightly that the under 23 fine. But the under 23 I watched in Port Harcourt.
Yes.
I could have bet anything that they will go to Congo and come back on sky.
That was how
we have challenge.
We gave excuse here that these girls couldn't play too well because of the media officers.
All right, gentlemen, I love this. We are moving on and we're moving directly there. So it is time for us to come to you at home. You see the number right there on the screen. You join the program. Let us have your contribution. If you feel that yes, Amaju Pinnick neglected his responsibility as the NFL president, going to London to watch an Arsenal match when the national teams are playing, or if you admit the man says, I went there on a business trip, I went there to talk to sponsors, and that is why I was not, in Bata or in Congo. Actually, he said he would have been in Bata.